Okay, 15 seconds to the open. It's Thursday, the 27th of December 2018. I can't believe where 2018 is gone. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me here today. I know you have plenty of choices of where you can be, and I'll point out some for the new people here. Yeah, Deckers is pulling back quite a bit now. Let's let the markets open a bit. Don't be in a rush to jump in the markets right away. That's where we got. Give it a chance to settle now. Right in here, the VXX is jumping up here towards kind of an area of possible resistance. All right, this is the short of the S&P. The S&P, we had a kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the downside, but it looks like it's possibly wanting to rally here after the gap down. So we gap down to this level right here. Let's get off the 4-hour chart. Let's go on to a 15-minute chart. We gap down to here. It looks like it's trying to rally again. And we're only about a minute and a half to 2 minutes into the market, so I'm going to sit tight and see what happens. We'll explain right here what this LTA is. It's the live trading alerts. These are 2-day highs, a minimum of 2-day highs, and then the number here is Roku is 4. It's over the high of the last 4 days, and then this will be the low of the last X number of days. This is highs of so many 5 minutes, so 77 5 minutes on a Baxter. Let me look at it on the offside here. Nah, it's not really all that great. Roku's probably just coming off the bottom. Roku could be a rounding bottom, maybe a pinball type of setup. And watching for the S&P, it looks like it's probably trying to give up the ghost here. We're looking at our very high wave doji, so we're going to need. I'm going to let the 5-minute go today and see what happens. But just going to let the charts tell me which way we want to go. $243.50 is a key area, and I think we're already under it. So on the spiders, I've got 243 marked up here, so that's pretty close. Okay, we're still only 4 minutes into the market right now, so I don't have permiso to be trading long or short here. And what I've got, the spiders are here. Here's the leveraged long on the spiders, and here's a leveraged short on the spiders. We'll just see. Wait, we still have not tripped over the 5-minute time frame yet. If I did a 1-day 3, yeah, we're still not over the high on the 3-minute chart. So over 32 on UPRO, and SPSX will probably be 33.75. Man, more than that. The markets are just trying to digest the gap down. Probably have an indigestion from yesterday. Go get the Rolaids. UPRO is now an inside candle on a 5-minute chart. 3-minute could potentially be bullish. I won't. Over 32, I'm going to be long UPRO. Okay, WW means worth watching, and UPRO greater than or over 32. Spiders approaching that 243 level. Got a buy stop in at 3202, and I'm long 3202 for UPRO. And the stops at 3175 ish. It'll be under 3180. I didn't have great conviction, so I only went in for a couple hundred shares instead of 400. Because I don't know that how comfortable I feel. 3250 will be a major resistance level. All right, I'm going to try to sell some around 3240 if we could get there. I'm watching to make sure this continues to go. I'm watching actually on a 3-minute chart on the UPRO. My stochastics RSI still pointing down, which makes me feel a little bit uneasy. We could be at the kind of the bounce and inflection point, though. All we have to do is go a little bit higher on this next candle and it will flip. Okay, as far as the VIX, looks like it's pulling back pretty sharply. At 3220 looked like a kind of like a brick wall. We still have not finished that 3-minute candle, let alone a 5. Let's see what we've got here as far as Paycom, VAR, and PS. Sorry, Seka. You know what? SCO? No. 3 minute candle has not finished. If it closes towards the top of it, I'll consider that bullish. The bulls and the bears are slugging it out. And that's a 15 minute candle. There's a 3 minute candle on the SPY. It kind of retested this 243 that was kind of resistance for the first 6 minutes, and now try to use that as support. And they're arm wrestling here right around 32 on the UPRO and 243-ish on the spiders. Bit lower and I'm out. Again, under 3180, around 30, 3175 in a little bit. My stochastic RSI is trying to bottom and curl back up. I would need that. And I'm going to need for 243.50 to 75 on spiders. I'm looking at other stocks. Nugget is still doing well. GDX and GDXJ. AIMT. No, it's not worth it. Facebook looks like it over 136. Maybe 135. What is that? Yeah, 135. Watch Facebook over 135. Okay, we're going to be out here. All right, I'm out. UPRO should probably have. Let's see what SPSX will do for us. SPY's approaching the low of the day. I'm going to be careful about trying to go. Oh, crud. Cancel that. Thing moved on me. anybody take any trades here today? Am I the only one silly enough to be trading this? Today is the 27th of December. And I did a UPRO. 52. Okay, I'm going to nibble some UPRO here, thinking about a double bottom. Whoa, what happened there? You turkey, turkey, turkey. Below 3160 or so, I'll have to be out. So under the low of the day. It was actually up around 3180. Yeah, for 3183 when I went long, and it just immediately zoomed down. So if we make new lows here, it's time to go the other way. What I'm doing is I'm doing like the pros do. I do a potential double bottom. If it's not, I've got a really tight stop. Um, if it does make the bottom, okay, I'm out. And let's go to XS. Let's flip to the long side. They could be just taking us down, sucking people into the short side like me, and then go the other way or not. So, if I get up at a 34.20 this time, I'm going to go ahead and take some profit. And watching this spider 3-minute chart. I took half off the table. I'm just playing with house money now. And looking for 34.40 or fight, no, or higher. Okay, in case I get a spike up, I'm going to put down half of what my remaining is up here around 34, 37 or so. And we're at the lows of the day on the market going lower. And we're on the 15-minute chart, somewhere here, 240 and a half. May not be a straight line there. Okay, I just took another quarter off the table there at 25. And I'll see if we can ride this puppy up. See how high it goes. So I took off the target. Now I'm just doing this trailing. And we're looking at the spiders trying to bounce. Again, playing with house money now. Now the key decision point here is, do we let it pull back and we stay with it, hoping that it and thinking that it might go higher, or do we go sell and take our money? Well, what I'm seeing in the stochastics with the RSI is it's time to sell and get out. 3408. And there's always the opportunity to get back in. Okay, so I'm done with that SPSX trade. Let's see. Now it's time that I can actually look at what I did. Oh, I was in at 33.93. So okay, and sold at, what did I get 200 at? Plus 20. Oh, 3. All right, plenty of time to count your money once the dealing's done, right? Okay, UPRO. Okay. And actually, it did continue to go lower, didn't it? And looks like we did a doji there. It looks like it wants to continue up to the 34.50. I did not let the candle finish, which was a mistake. But then again, I've got money in the bank. We look like we're attempting to bottom in the S&P. Got two dojis here on a 3-minute chart. Let me go to a 5. It's showing up right there. Okay. See how we're doing here. And we are trying to roll over on a 3-minute here on the SPSX. Show you that. I was just momentarily premature on the exit, but in fact, by doing that, if I had just continued to do that, I'd be getting out now at about the same level that I sold. So only you're talking about a nickel's difference or whatever, so it's really not all that much. And I felt more comfortable doing what I did, taking the money and run. I can't play my music or we'll get banned on YouTube. All right, let's see if we can get any bounces in the market and get any good buys here. Okay. Huh. Well. I am not seeing anything out there that looks like it wants to go in rally mode there, folks. I'd still keep an eye on Decker for probably tomorrow. See if anything's got up here in the changes. The inverse LABD trying to bottom, but then that's a negative. Negative oil. The QID, I call it the squid because it's short. AEM looks okay on the daily if you're interested in jumping in on a gold liner. GLD is okay. That means that IU would be okay probably as well. Keep an eye on TZA, Nugget. Still seeing lots of negativity out there. I did warn that wheat and precious metals. Oh, okay, that's why. Light. I am just not seeing a lot of stocks that are grabbing my fancy, you know. Maybe Micron if it gets over 3180. And what do we say? Facebook, and I don't know what it's doing. It's not going there. Micron. All right, folks, we're just went past the 10 o'clock hour, which we had two economic reports. That could be why we're a little bit in rally mode. I'll try to double check and see what the numbers were, but I don't really care. I only care about the reaction. No. Did not come across the CNBC wires yet. Let me see if it came across on StockTwits. Not yet. All right, I am going to take a couple of minutes break, and I will be right back. Be smart. As far as day trading here goes, the S&P over 243 would possibly be along, maybe a little bit higher than that. All right, take care. I'll be right back. Okay, the consumer confidence numbers just came across on StockTwits. Says 128.1 versus 133.5 expected. So the numbers say it came in low by about 5 points. However, the market did its 10 o'clock major reversal. So it's really more about
Connection lost.
Oh, shut up. All right, here are reversal times. Those are my ideas of reversal times, with 5 minutes being a minor because, you know, all the people that put in their buy orders at the beginning of the day or sell orders in the beginning of the day, and they're usually market orders. I'll wait for this candle to finish on SPSX. Long some SPSX and 33.96. $34.20 is going to be a key area level. Okay, I'm out half of SPXS. Out another quarter of SPSX at I think 22, but I'll find out later. Well, you can manage it yourself. I mean, I'm not counting the money while I'm still sitting at the table. So, coming up on the high of the day and approaching the low of the day on the spiders and see if it breaks through. I was long from 33.96. Again, I'm only looking for making. You could probably call it chump change, Greg, but I'm taking what the market gives me. We're zip zapping all over the place. I'm taking $20 to $50 to $100 each one of these sections. So, what's 96 to? I'll get it in a minute. I'm just going to manage a trade. First sold at 13, so 13 and 4 is 17 cents times 200. That's $34, I guess, and then 22, a little bit more. So, oh, I don't think so. Um, but Doug, if see, I'm doing it in a retirement account, and you have to have, I think, more than $1,000 worth of profits that count on the K1 before you have to report anything. Other than lower than that, there's some level I have to go back in. I've never had to report it, and I've been trading this for 9 years now, 8 to 9 years. 2009. Well, it does actually. It doesn't matter in a retirement account, but it does. Um, they basically waive any of them below a certain level there's certain level that you have to exceed before it becomes a tax problem. And as I think J.P. Morgan used to say, I'd love to have a tax problem. That means I'm making lots of money. Yeah. Um, I I have to deal with K1s with my corporations, but um, I use tax program into it, so I just fill in the numbers and it works out for me. All right, let's ride that last 100 and see how we can go. Let's see if we get to the high of the day, 3460. We're down at the low of the day again in the spiders. Let's see if we can break lower. If we break lower, then I could ride this a little bit. Um, I'm thinking we might be able to, but again, I'm playing with house money. You know, and JS, you asked her. Okay, give me a second, and I'll go over all this after I finish this trade and get set aside. Is that okay? I'll be happy to answer your questions. We have three rooms, three services basically. One is swing trades, one is day trades, which is this one, and another one is options. Yeah. Well, we're touching the low of the day. I haven't seen that we've taken it out yet. We're just on the cusp, and that's why the SPSX is at its. My stochastics RSI is pointing upwards on my XS, making me feel a little more comfortable. And it does look like we dipped down to a new low for the S&P. The 3475 is going to be a key level if we ever get up that high on XS. And we're getting somewhat semblance of a shooting star here. We get below 13 or so, I'm probably just going to go ahead and step aside. Technically, you should let the candle finish, but I don't like to give money back. Yeah, I'm going to put my phone on silent. My family's bleeping me like crazy. We do, all right, there's a shooting star candle finished on a 3 minute on SPSX, but now we have to get lower. And right now, it doesn't seem to want to do that. So right in here, we basically had profit taking here. And if it gets lower than it's 13, I need to be out. And we're testing it. I'm going to put the emergency stop in there so that if I screw up and start looking at something else. Oh, yes. Sometimes it actually breaks that and then does a real rally. What it does, Doug, is that they're trying to get people to go short where they'll trigger them in because they know that's where their buy stops are, and then they'll go down just a little bit and then flip back the other side and run them out. So they'll take the shorts out, and the same thing happens on the opposite side. And I'm going to be taken out here. And I'm out. Okay. Let's go back up to the questions we had. Greg wanted to know how much profit I had. Well, with 400 shares, we had, let's do it this way. SPXS 400 at 33.96. Sold, oops, sold 200 at, where is it there? 34.13. What, 17 cents? Yeah. Okay. I have very, very low commissions, so this, this is basically, I ignore the commissions. So if you don't have low commissions, you probably won't be able to scale out like I do. 100 at 34.22. 626, and it sold the last. So he stopped at 34.04. 8. Okay, so 34. Okay, again, the goals: risk very little and make a bid. So we got 34. And I know you'll think that this is small. 26 and 8. Is that right? Yeah. That's 8. All right. That total profit there was only $68. Okay. However, when you add that on to the 95 that I had before, minus somewhat, my goal is 200. These aren't really ticks; those are in dollars, so it's not futures, Greg. So those are pennies. Now, if you're talking about futures, it's a different story. All right, let me do one thing here. A lot of people criticize me and us for doing what we're doing here, and I will be happy to compare my results with anybody that what we're doing here. All right. This is since the 1st of May, trying to risk no more than $100 to $200 on any trade, sometimes less, especially when you're talking about volatile markets that flip-flop like a fish out of water. And I'm averaging a little over $2,000 a month. What the goal of this room is not to make an absolute killing. The goal is to make a reasonable amount of money and show people that they don't have to risk a lot to make a little bit. Now, if $2,000 a month is not what you would expect, double it or triple it. Again, you're going to be taking double or triple the risk, but the whole idea is to show people that you can do fairly well trading small amounts, assuming that you have low commissions, which I do, and which I can point people towards, and you go from there. And to show people how it's done, where you can do it in small enough numbers that just about everybody can do. All right. Now let me. So that profit wasn't all that great, but I'll add this. I actually. Okay. All right. That is performance tracker. All right. So. Right. Where was I going with this? And JS says, I'm new as a guest. Is there more than one trading room? Is this typical where you guide us through your trades? Yes, there are 3 rooms. Um, Here we have 30-day trial offer out there for $14. There are 3 rooms out there. One is Hit and Run Candlesticks, that's moderated by Rick Sadler. And what that does is primarily focus on swing trades, 3 to 5 days normally. Check out his performance. He's done quite well. He sometimes uses options to make those trades. Sometimes he actually buys the stock. Right Way Options, run by Doug Campbell, moderated. That he normally has a 2 hour, 2 hour and a half during the mid part of the day, and will send out notices to the subscribers when he has options trades. I'm prejudiced, but Doug Campbell's one of the best options traders that I've seen around. He is not. He's extremely conservative. Let's put it that way. And he does very well. 14 per each. And yes, Rick is in the Hit and Run Candlesticks room right now. Doug Campbell would be in the Right Way Options in about 35 minutes. A lot of times people will pick out either the Hit and Run or Top Gun Trading and go at lunchtime over to Right Way Options so that they can pick whether you want to be very, very short term. Now, I do talk about some swing trades, but right now the market is not conducive to swing trades, in my opinion. So I'm completely day trading. I will talk about options trades. I will talk about position trades and longer term trades. Okay. But there's the 30-day trial. Is it typical where you guide us through my trades? You're looking over the shoulder, JS, as I'm trading. I'm trading my own money live, and you're looking over my account. And what you see is what you get. I'm open kimono. Unfortunately, you may not like that. A shock to your system. But yeah, I'm teasing. But the whole idea is, this is my money, and I'm trading it my way to make my amounts. I'm showing you how I do it. Basically, trying to train you on how to do it. We have members e-learning 1 to 2 times a month, where if you sign up, there's a members e-learning that we last did on the 15th of November. We've actually did some other kind of impromptu sessions in between, but this describes everything the way I day trade, the way I set up my chart settings, and what my trade routine is. Let's see, what else do we have here? Favorite chart patterns, I've got those, and I have a Top Gun Trading YouTube channel, which is free for everyone. Okay, let's take it to home. Let's take it back to here to my channel. I think this is it. Yes. All right. And in here, you will see the daily recordings posted for all the trading sessions. Again, I only guarantee that I'll be here from 9:30 to about 11:15 or so. I will be here most afternoons, but I will not know which ones they are. But I do have, um, I do have other things that I have to do with my life during 9 to 5 to take care of life. So sometimes I'll be gone. Like yesterday, it was for a doctor's appointment. And let's see, I go to the videos. And what I want to do is I want to point out this Top Gun Trading overview. This is a 26-minute short version of what you would get inside the members section, which is more detail. You watch that, and if you sign up for the membership, this member e-learning, you open that in a new tab. Okay, you can get that. It is about an hour and 25 minutes long, is it? Hour and 10. So it's PhD, piled higher and deeper. We start off at 9:15 every morning with an overview of the markets and some trade ideas, throw those out. And then we start with the trades and you get to look over my shoulder. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them out there. I'll do my best to answer them. I started off, Gord, with the futures, and after about 3 months, we did a poll for the members, and a lot of the members were trading the ETFs, trying to follow along with the. And we're going to new lows in the markets, guys. Be careful if you're out there. They wanted us to transition over to stocks and ETFs and options, so I did that around the 1st of September. And you can see that there really isn't a whole lot of difference in the monthly totals, whichever one we did. I didn't have a problem. I could go whichever way that the members wanted. So I do occasionally do a futures trade. Sometimes I'll do them overnight. They will not be reflected on this because this is really the normal when I moderate the room and call it. Sunday night can be a good time to trade the futures when they first open up. But I use the same patterns and setups and everything. And the charts and time frames I used to use when I would trade. Let me put this back. when I trade futures, I use a Renko chart. Let me go ahead and show you. I've got Thinkorswim and then a Ninja Trader feeding into Interactive Brokers, and from there, well, I'd have to show you the futures in Thinkorswim at the moment. I don't have this logged in. What's the best way to show it? I don't know that I could show it to you right here. Right. Normally I trade on a 3-minute chart or a 5-minute chart. And after we get through about 11:30 or so, I'll be following along on a 15-minute chart. That's just mainly to get the trend. Okay, I find the 1 and 2-minute charts to be too noisy, meaning that they have too many false signals. And I like the 3 minutes. It's a good compromise. And do the standard candle setups. They could be breakouts. They could be piercing candles. You know, my favorite chart patterns are in both of those presentations that I post above, the overview and the members e-learning. Obviously, the members e-learning at 1 hour and 10 minutes was quite a bit more detailed. And I use swing levels here, and this is what I love about Ninja Trader. I have a set of indicators that I purchased with Bloodhound, and that automatically will draw key levels that I need to be watching. And they are used for entries, targets, and stops. The markets tend to move between these levels. And let's look at the SPY. And I tend to watch the major index, the underlying index, and we'll use it as my guide. Like if I'm trading the inverse or the triple leverage, whichever way, I watch and see what's going on here. What it looks like now, we're trying to change from a downtrend to an uptrend. We're not there yet, but this would be telling me, hey guy, you shouldn't be short. You should be thinking about watching this get up here, pull back, higher highs, higher lows, and transitioning back to an uptrend. Right now, I use the moving averages. Right now we're in a downtrend. I use the moving averages to tell me that, but I'm also looking here and I'm deriving, saying, you know what? This is starting to bottom out. We may be changing. Well, we thought we were changing over here. All that was a reversion to the mean. It did a bounce and then rolled back over. So trading is an art, not exactly a science. And we're still in holiday trading chop. Another reason for me to trade like I am, taking small profits, because if you try to hold out for more, all you'll end up doing is giving your money back. So you have two choices. You either take what the market can give you in small chunks, or you can sit on the sideline. I'm not the kind of person that sits on the sideline. All right. Any other questions, please feel free. Have a go at it. Let me post out a couple of things that I've got in the trading room. Does anybody use Thinkorswim? And anybody want to know what these volatility dots are and would like to have the setups? Here it is. One of the traders in our main room helped us convert the volatility stop that we were using inside um, Thinkorswim and put it in, sorry, in TC2000 and put it in Thinkorswim. And we feel free to share. We share scans that we have. You can always look at my LTA scans here, 5-minute highs and lows, 2-day highs and lows. Like SPR. Spirit Airlines is attempting to bounce off the bottom. You could decide, I would like to see something around the 6 to 10 on these since we were so far down. But if you're going to do a counter trend trade on SPR, that could work. And so the symbol, then you have the number of days that it's making. So it's a 2-day high. This would make 3. Minimum would be 2. And then the other number is the volume at the relative volume at this time of day. So MB is 3.2 times normal volume. SPR is 1.3 times normal volume. Well, high volume usually works out well. Now, MB is probably a buyout, so I would ignore it. Mind body, yes, I think it is. People are probably selling it that held it before. Then you go over here, and MNK's making 155-day lows. GW, I've been in discussions with Rick about that. Yeah, we're probably going to have to go up because we were so low. But I think we'd give everybody an opportunity to get grandfathered in. We'll let you know. But yeah, I do know that, come the new year, we're probably going to go up on our rates. If anybody is in currently, we'll grandfather them in, I'm sure. We've done that in the past. Again, as far as running the show, Hit and Run Candlesticks, Rick Sadler owns that, and he basically is the King Daddy Rabbit of all three of us. And we're very happy to work with him. I used to bounce out around from room to room, but I came here in 2010, and I intend to go nowhere else unless I'm dead or thrown out. I like the people as people. I like them as traders. I like the system. Cooperate and graduate. Yeah, I would see a rate increase coming before the end of January for all of us. We do have to pay a substantial amount to host these the room. Got to cover our costs. Okay, we're just kind of sure, Walter. Let me bring that up. LTA is kind of in its infancy and it's growing. But what I do here, I've got very simple setups. There are all kinds of scans that are in here for bullish and bearish type, but I just put none. What I do is I have a user defined list and I can post that out. It's basically my it's basically my let me right here. Tradable stocks. Okay. And what I will do is I'll do a new day high. Okay, and for the 2-day highs, what you're looking for, and the reverse of that's low. I don't care about the price or whatever. I do the volume, high low of, and fractals. And then over here, I put a minimum of 2. So that means that I've got to get 2 by 2. I've got to get 2-day high. So it's really a 3-day high. Does that make sense? 2 twos? Got 2 twos or 4, but in this case, 2 twos or 3. And I just do new high, daily, deselect everything and select the back 3. Fractals probably don't matter. I probably only need the symbol, volume, and high-low. And then create the window. And then on the opposite, I do low, 2.0. And I use the user-defined list. Now, would you like for me to post my tradable list for you there, Walter? What it basically is it's 1,328 stocks at the moment. Let me see. Copy all symbols to clipboard. Open up Notepad. File, save as. Okay, it's what I call tradable stocks and ETFs, and it's ones with minimum. What do I have in there? I think I have a minimum of around 485,000 shares per day on average, 20 days, and it has an average true range over the last 14, a minimum of 0.25 or higher, so 25 cents or higher. Let's post it. Give me 1 second, Greg. I'll be with you. No, it's not the CBOE most active. It's my idea off of TC2000 of tradable stocks. I don't know that there's anything that won't be on the CBO
Connection lost.
list. Okay. That list is basically a combination of every stock out there filtered for those parameters I've talked about, and all ETFs filtered for those parameters I talked about, combine them together in one file called all stocks and ETFs. And every 3 months or so, I'll wipe it all out and start all over again because of mergers and acquisitions, that kind of thing, or stocks going too low. You're welcome, sir. Nope, neither one of those, Greg. I mean, just Michael. That's just stocks that I consider have enough volume and enough movement on a daily basis to trade. It's a starting point. It goes from 7,000 instruments down to 1,328. So it filters out stuff that I never even need to waste any time on. And this is the kind of thing that we do all the time for people. You know, we tell people what we're looking at. We tell them what the markets are looking at, when we should be actually engaging ourselves or not on trading when we should be sitting on our hands. I mean, I'll tell you that I'm sitting on my hands type of thing. I'm trading very little at the moment, but let me do this. All right, I made $2,500 already in December. This is the worst trading month in over a decade, and I've made $2,500. Now, 1 week we made most of it, but here what I'm doing is, I'm doing I'll call it nickels and dimes, but it really isn't, but small amounts. And then and I even have losing days. That's going to happen. But when you get out there and if you get movement and then you happen to be on the right side of the trade, that trends, you let it run, fine. But on the other days, be happy with $100, $150, $200, $250. Eventually, it adds up to real money. Keep these numbers low. Now, of course, I had a couple of them that had some horrifically bad days. I overtraded. I made some mistakes there. And I totally admit it. But I've never had a losing month. Knock on something hollow. I'm knocking on my head. The whole idea is to be smart. I've had losing weeks. One. Okay. Keep your losses small is the idea. Keep them manageable. For every dollar that you lose, you got to gain $2 to get back up. For every 25% you lose, you got to make 33% on the winner. If you make 50% down, you've got to make something like 100 to get back. Just don't let the losers take over. You've got to stay away from those. Okay, the markets are still doing quite well. They're kind of trying to close that gap. Do I have any TC2000 scans to share? That's a good question. I'm going to walk you through this one real quick because you may not understand it if I don't. Now, giving you the scan and telling you what the parameters are won't necessarily help you if you don't know how to apply it. Now, this is the name of the scan. Rick and I came up with it. I followed his naming convention that he uses for his old scanner program they used to use. So the conditions are the 8 exponential over the 20 simple. That's what this is. But AB 820, AB 83450 is the 80 exponential is greater than the 34 exponential, which is greater than the 50 simple. We wanted to have 2-day lower highs. We originally went for higher lows, but in fact we found that didn't always work out. It eliminated a few good trades. So this is what we got. I want it to be up today, and I want up today over yesterday's open and close. And you do not need to use the stochastics RSI if you don't want to. And average daily volume over the last 20 days. And average true range. And this old one, I had to have, until we went to version 18, I believe it was, we didn't have the average true range available to choose from. Inside TC2000. So what I had to do is create this one that I found on the internet. Even though I'd like to use 20 days, 14 is good enough because I wasn't about to go expand this. I was too darn lazy. It's close enough. Just want something to be able to move. And then I chose 0.25 on that one. You can set up any average range you want, any average volume you want, and basically put all those in one scan. And it usually creates a number of, it looks for primarily a J hook. It looks for a stock that's moving up, it's pulling back, making lower highs, and then it's curling back up. And what I do then is that's where I want to go long with the stop right underneath that curl up. First target's there. Now you've got free money. You have to let it go all the way to your entry point plus that difference there before you're losing trade. So a good idea here is that boom, it went up to the prior swing, I take my profit. It comes back down here and I get to somewhere between that profit level and break even. You know, I'm playing with house money. I love to play with house money. Does that mean I'm going to get a home run? More than likely not. Does it mean I'm going to have a very high batting average? Yep. So that's the attempt. And we go into a lot of how to try to apply that. Now again, that's looking at a daily chart. I do not have platinum. I don't need intraday scans because I start all of my candidate scanning based on the daily chart. And then I drill down from there. If you start with a good daily, the rest of them will take care of themselves. And you just look for some sort of intraday entry. Where market's pulling back a little bit to that right now, we really can't break above that 243. I'm seeing that we're in a trading range. Let me show it. There's the 5-minute spiders. We're basically from 240.60 something to about this 243. So we're bouncing between those, but we have a negative bias. You notice there's a negative slant from the pre-market. Here's the open. We did a little bit of a rally. Reversion to the mean, went up to the pre-market highs, pulled back. Bouncing back and forth. Now, if we could stop somewhere around here at 241.50 and go back up and break above 243-ish, we got the opportunity to change the trend. But it's not looking so good right now. Let's go to the 3-minute. And the 3-minute looks like it's possibly changing trend. But it looks like it's failing right now. Okay, we've got Now and TGE coming up over here. Let me take a look at that. Now doesn't look half bad. Tallgrass Energy doesn't look so bad. TGE, probably a bit spready based upon what I'm seeing with all these wicks. Gord asks, do you reference the overnight spiders price action? Well, I do have it here because that goes all the way back to after hours and the pre-market. When I look at the When I look at the futures, I look at 24.5, but I tend to put more credence in the intraday after we've been in for 30 to 45 minutes. But you notice what happened here. We did the rally at the open, and where did we stop? We stopped at pretty much the highs of the pre-market session around 8 o'clock. So the answer is you should, and I do. Now, does this act as a brick wall? No, because there's probably not a whole lot of volume there. But it was enough. It just basically to be aware that when it hit this 243.58, be aware that that was the pre-market high, and it could act as a point where some people will become sellers. I sure hope for your sake that some of the people here will give us a try. $14, that's less than a steakhouse visit for one. You don't have to have a tip for us. And less than a trip for two to McDonald's or something like that. Fast food joint. And try one. If you don't like it, try another one. I think that we've got pretty much all the bases covered. Very short term, I will do some swings, but mine are usually only 1 to 3 days. I get too trigger happy and I want to take profits, as you can probably tell. Basically a day trader. All right, coming up on 11 o'clock, getting kind of late in the day. We have not had any real rally. We normally have seen, and when I say normal, I say it in quotes, we have normally seen a rally between 10:30 and 11, some sort of program buying. Now, then a rally or a sell-off, we have some sort of movement. Well, from 10:30, the spiders moved from about 241 to 243. That's all. It's not a significant rally. Yesterday, I think the rally slash sell-off occurred later in the day. It was 11 to 11:30, and then boom. Let's see. Yes, it really started around 11:15, and continued for about an hour. That's where most of the rally occurred. Well, we had some at the end of the day as well. We could see this just chopping around here today. Oh, absolutely. TD, I only showed you the NinjaTrader because it automatically draws. I'm a lazy person. If I can find something that will draw the swing levels for me, fine. And that's what if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But you basically, what have I done over here on Thinkorswim? I've drawn those levels. I've drawn them manually, but I've drawn them. Let's go here to a 30-minute chart. And that doesn't look like a 30-minute chart to me. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. So drawing those levels, you can put those in manually. What I'm doing over here is I'm looking for a shelf, another shelf over here, maybe the lows of the day. You can do those manually. And in intraday, I tend to do them a lot in my head and not put them on the chart. But yeah, you can, in fact, if you noticed, I'm using Thinkorswim mostly, and some TC2000. TC2000, okay, it's like being a carpenter and having a tool chest. I have to have specialty tools to do specialty things. Thinkorswim is my go-to live charting program and trading program. Also, that's one of the two that I trade on, but the primary one. And TC2000 is scanning for possible candidates and watch list management. And then I'll copy the watch lists over from the night to, got one off to the side, a set of stocks to watch. Now this is very, very much out of date because I have not seen a whole lot, so I haven't totally scoured it totally clean. But I keep them over there, and I will zippity doo dah onto them. I will also keep, here's the trading chart, but I have a chart on a daily, and on the active trader I will have a 3 or a 5 minute chart, and I have them linked, and I go back and forth, and then when I see something I'll point it out. I'll post them in the room like I did. Let's see, what were the all right. There's a spreadsheet that I use for share sizing. If I only wanted to risk $100 per trade, it would tell me all right. Well, why is that trying to say that? Oh, here's this, because it's already open. Share sizing chart. If you, let's just say you had a stock that was at 13.50 and you had a 25-cent stop. I go down this column here till I hit 25. Then I go across this line till I hit 100. And then I go up, and it says I can buy a maximum of 400 shares and still beat my $100 requirement. If you had to have 200, how many could you buy? You could buy double that. Or you could go over to the 200 and hit that. I would strongly suggest that people that are just beginning start with a $100 risk, stay with that until you earn the right to go higher. Now that's the maximum number I can buy. If I'm in a really squirrely market and don't feel really really excited about the setup, I could go less than that. I could go no trade, or I could maybe do half of that. Then I'd only be risking 50 if I did 200. So the whole idea is look at the reward to risk. And I do not use percentages. I use absolute dollar terms because last I checked, that's what my mortgage was paid on. That's absolutely correct. I will post them live as I'm doing them. I will show you. I've done 2 UPRO trades and an SP. Was it 2 SPX trades? Whatever. What is it done? Let me go back and look. I did a UPro trade out of the box and lost money. No. Yes. Um, and then did two SPSX trades and made money on both of those. I post them live as I'm doing it. I show you the charts as we're doing it, and I will put them in the announcements after we're done so that people who come in later can know what I did. I was asked to do that. Would it be possible to follow my trades using options? Possibly. Here's the problem with that, GW. If you're doing that, options people, once they see something happening, they're going to, or they get into if you get into a solid uptrend or a solid downtrend, they're going to pump a bunch of premium in. And you're probably you're going to have a tough time doing what I'm doing here and replicating my trades because they're so short. Options for longer term swing trades or whatever, like I'm using the ETFs today. Let's just say that I wasn't doing that. I was using something like, one that's a favorite for a lot of people is Apple. Let me link Apple here. All right, and I would suggest going probably to a 5-minute chart. And if we're doing this, Apple has lots of options, very liquid, and you could probably do this, but you could trade in the direction of the trend on, say, when Apple broke below 153.19 or when it broke below 154.30 or something like that. Those are obvious levels that I'm seeing here on the 5-minute chart that tells me that you could go short those. Now, the problem is, as soon as you break there, you're going to see the price and the premium start to be pumped in. So you're going to give them a little bit of a head start. So as long as you're aware of that, and you probably have to choose maybe different stocks that I'm doing. Right now, I'm having to focus, the market is forcing me really to focus primarily on the leverage ETFs that are around the overall market. Now, if we want to go away from that, let's see. So it's 11:10. I'm probably done for the morning. Let's watch Apple and see what happens on the trades here. Now, the biggie is trying to figure out what strike price we're going to use and which expiration date. Are we going to trade the weeklies? Are we going to trade the monthlies? Are we going to go at the money, out of the money, in the money? There's a whole lot of things that you've got to get right with options now. It's the reason you want to do GW, you want to do options is because you want to leverage it and make money faster, or is it because you may or may not have enough funds to do pattern day trading rules? So I got to have the 25,000 requirement. If you're willing to tell me that, I might be able to make some suggestions, but I would probably
Connection lost.
I'd probably go anywhere with 10 to 20 days into the market, and I'd go ever so slightly in the money. And for right now, I'm seeing it trying to bottom. We could go, if we're going to go puts, I'm going to want to break the 150, but you see over here to the left, I've got some I'm seeing that as a box. Okay, Bill. Let me try to help you on that. More than likely, it's a copy and paste error that is getting sapped. I'd be very careful about going short Apple right here. Excuse me. And I probably wouldn't go long Apple until it changed trend. 102. What do you? Okay. All right. Let's get to 2C2000 and try to help Bill. Okay. Let's see. I've got the tradables. Okay. Two bar low, reverse up. Ah, I get an error message. Okay. That's a Omnovia issue. It's a known problem for me. I'll repost it again. Uh, about every 2 weeks, they kind of lose their brains. Not your fault. Novia. Yeah. Well, let's try this one. Hit Barlow. All right. Now you noticed I opened it up earlier today from the room, and it worked. And then suddenly, as I posted it up, it stopped working. Go figure. All right, try that one there, Bill. Funny, JT. And I posted another one that's the opposite of that. It's basically the inverse. It's a it looks for inverted J hooks. Let me see that that worked right. All right. Let's see what our Apple's doing here. Apple's starting to come up. And what I'm going to look for, if I'm going to go long, I'm going to want to call slightly in the money, 151 or so. So it's 150. And what you could do right here is jump the gun or wait for the breakout. You would probably have already been long from about, whatever the price level is here, 152. You're not seeing anything on which screen? Did you just get here, Michael? Make sure that you're on above chat. Well, make sure you've got the correct tab, the screen sharing tab selected at the very, very top. All right. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for the feedback. No problem. Another thing is, it asks you if you want to log in with one or two windows. I don't know why well, I got an idea why. They say that it's more reliable logging in with one window, and that works if you're not interactive. But let's, go to trading rooms, room 3. All right, there you enter your password, but right here, right there, it says 1 minute window recommended. I deselect that box. So it opens in two. So it opens in two windows. Then you can resize the chat and resize the screen and place them anywhere in your computer that you want. 2, 3, or 4 screens. I've got 4 right now. And when I went down to 2 or 3, it became very, very difficult. Okay, so I recommend logging in with this deselected. It'll open 2 windows. You'll like it a lot better. Okay, JT, so you can only buy or purchase with a gold with day trading. Yeah, like all that. No, I think you combined a positive and a negative there. Are you asking if you're at a pattern day trade rule in options if you have less than 25,000 in your account? I suggest you talk to your broker. They will be the person that decides that, not me. Now, I'm trading by retirement accounts. I'm above that, so I really don't know. In fact, if you're trying to trading a retirement account, I don't think you have a pattern day trader rule regardless of your size of account. But check with your broker. Okay. All right. I'm going to need to take at least a 15 to 20 minute break here, folks. I've got to get some lunch, and I'm expecting a worker to come around to the house, and I need to lock up I got to get ready for him and then lock the dogs up with me, but I'll be right back. Okay. I haven't been below 25,000 in forever. So I don't know. All right, I'll be back probably 30, 45 minutes, definitely before 1 o'clock.